All right, guys, welcome. We are going to be talking about um, Project Euler algorithm here today. Um, we are given on the first problem, we are given the prompt if we list all natural numbers below 10 that are multiples of 3 or 5, we get 3, 5, 6, and 9. The sum of these is 23. We need to find the sum for the same parameter, multiples of 3 and 5 below 1000. So let's go ahead and first we want to define our function. And hide that just a little bit more. Pass in a num, let sum equal 0. So this is the basic skeleton of every function. You have the declaration of it. You can have a parameter. You don't obviously need to have parameters. We do in this case. We're declaring a variable and we are returning the result. Obviously, not every function has a return, but there is some sort of, sign that it's completed. It's done all its tasks, right? If it's doing something rather than computing some sort of mathematical function, you don't necessarily need it to return anything. But in this case, we needed to find an answer to a problem for us. So we need to declare a for loop. We're going to start out by, you've got your three basic components of a for loop. You've got the iterator that you're looping through. If you don't want to use something like an iterating variable where you're checking to see that it's meeting some sort of specific criteria, you should use a while loop instead. You don't need to declare a variable for a while loop. And it's, you can just use stuff that you've already declared elsewhere. In fact, we could use a while loop here. We're not going to, just because it's a little bit cleaner for us to use a for loop here. But a while loop can serve the same purpose and is more useful in instances where you're not declaring a variable specific to the loop. So we need to check and see if it's less than num plus plus. So after we've done the declaration, this is our parameter. As long as this is true, we're going to keep going through. Once it's false, we're going to exit the loop. And each go round, we are adding 1 to I. So this is actually just I plus 1, but JavaScript lets us make it look easier. So if we need to check to see if I is divisible by 3 and if I is divisible by 5. Now, JavaScript does give us a way to do this. This is what's called the Modulo Operator. So this will provide the remainder of the division operation. So if the remainder is equal to 0, then we know that I is in fact divisible by 3 because the multiples of 3 give a remainder of 0. So 6 divided by 3, remainder 0. 7 divided by 3 gives a remainder of 1. So 7 returns false here, 6 returns true. So if it's true, then we need to add I to the sum. That's what we do right here. And there is an easier way to do that. Sum is equal to itself plus I now. Do the same thing for 5. Sum I. Obviously, there is a bit of an easier way that I'm sure some of you were asking why I didn't use, and that's to use the OR operator right here. 5, 0, and we don't need a second if. Deleted one of my braces, and from there, our function should be done. So let's go ahead and console.log find multiples f in 1,000. And there is our answer. We can toy around with it. 2,000 or 10,000. If we want, we can use these as parameters too, so that we could change it. Right, so we would do like 3, 5. This would give us the same answer. We could toy around with it and say something like 7, 11. Right, that would give us the answer there. So, yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward. There's this is, we've only got one loop. Not a lot of complexity to something like this, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video.